Good morning, everyone. Going out for a ride on this beautiful Saturday. The temperature's about 38 degrees. It's January 23rd, I think. And there's the bike, looking good. I love sunny days. Isn't that fabulous? Woo! Off we go. Look at that old tree. Looks like an ant. Ooh, look at that hawk. Wow, look at you. Ooh, wee. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. My buddy, White Buck 86, just announced today, or at least when I saw it today, that he's going to be buying a new home on a really nice area of land where there are no neighbors for like a quarter of a mile. I find that to be ideal, personally. I grew up in an inner city kind of thing in Somerville, Mass, which is, you know, very crowded, house upon house upon house, all of them rentals, you know, all of them renting apartments. Then I moved to what I considered at the time to be the Sticks, which is a town up on the North Shore of Massachusetts called Lynn, Mass. And yes, it is called the North Shore. For those of you living in Hawaii watching this saying, whoa, there's a North Shore in Massachusetts too? Yes, there is. And that was my first North Shore. When I first heard about the North Shore of Oahu, I thought, wow, they stole the name of my North Shore. But technically, no. We didn't really call it the North Shore. We called it the North Shore. The North Shore. So that's how we say it. North Shore. So Lynn, by comparison to Somerville, was the Sticks. And instead of a house being, 15 feet off, it was like 20 feet off. But it was still neighborhood upon neighborhood upon neighborhood and thousands of people. And even though there was a huge forest, it was like half the city was forest, state park or whatever. And I went there a lot as a kid. Still, most of my life was spent, with neighbors all around. You can't have any privacy at all. Especially with my Greek neighbors. They're all looking out the window every day. They were a permanent fixture on the landscape. As my friend's Greek mother just staring out the window like a zombie. So, then we moved to, when I got back from living in Fiji, which was also, strangely enough, very crowded in my village where I lived. No privacy there either. For an island of only 700,000 people, you'd think I'd have more privacy, but no. You'd be sitting there all alone on this beach, on Viti Levu. That was the name of the island I was living on. Sitting at this beach called Vuvu Beach. If you want to check it out, it's called C-U-V-U Beach, Vuvu Beach. And I'd be all by myself, and I'd be thinking, yeah, I'm all by myself, and maybe I'll even talk to myself for a second. Finally, I'm alone. And then I'd hear mbula, and I'd look behind me, and there'd be this fat Fijian lady sitting in the tall grass, doing I don't even know what, one tooth and a big hair coming off her lip and curls. Ooh. She was great, wonderful people, but no privacy. No privacy at all. I moved back to Lynn, got an apartment. There was no privacy in an apartment. You got people. I had people beneath me making noise all the time. This one old lady yelling at her husband constantly, and she had this really raspy old lady smoker's voice. And one night I could hear her in my sleep. I was dreaming, and the person in my dream was screaming at me in that voice. And then I woke up and realized that it was that lady downstairs yelling at her husband. So I just sat there in my bed listening, and I swear to God, this is what I heard. Ready? I think his name was Larry. So she's like, Larry, you listen to the radio like an asshole. Larry, I was born dead. I swear to God, that's exactly what she said. She said that she was born dead. I couldn't hear anything else, especially from him, because he just sounded like one of those Charlie Brown teachers. All you hear was mumbling. But she was very clear. It was just horrible. Moved out of there, went to Hawaii in 2000, and we rented an apartment over by the university. A little apartment on this street called Varsity Circle. If you want to look it up, go right ahead. Varsity Circle in Honolulu. And, the same thing, houses all stacked together. And it was a pretty bad neighborhood, too. There was a lot of domestic violence for some reason. The cops would be down there every other day. You'd see cops down there at different places, arresting the husbands and stuff. maybe it was the meth, I don't know what the hell it was, but a lot of violence. So after a year of that, we bought a house in Pacific Palisades, Honolulu. Pacific Palisades is the name of the neighborhood. Pearl City was the name of the larger neighborhood. I don't understand why. And then Honolulu was the name of the city, which is the entire island of Oahu is basically one giant city, Honolulu. I don't know if you knew that. So moved to our house, and our house was literally 15 feet separated from the house next to us on either side. They call it zero lot boundary. One side you have absolutely no yard to your left, and the other side you have 15 feet to the next house. Crowded, and you could hear the neighbor brushing her teeth in the morning. You know, my neighbor Nez, wonderful lady. But I don't want to hear people gargling in the morning when I'm trying to get ready for work. You know, who wants that? Not me. You guys want that? I don't want that. So then we moved here to North Carolina 5 years later, in 2005. And I live south of Raleigh in a subdivision. Most of the neighborhoods around here are subdivisions. You got to pay, you know, neighborhood association dues, but it's only $50 a year, which is nothing. And my neighbors, you know, I have a neighbor maybe 50 or 60 feet off to my right, and off to my left I have nobody for like 150 feet up in front of the house. You know, a lot of space. I have more than half an acre of land that my house is on. And it's a very quiet neighborhood. In the summertime you hear crickets, and in the wintertime you hear kids playing in the afternoon, or just wind, you know, in the trees. It's great. I love it. Hey, what's up? But the ultimate dream is to buy a house that's on multiple acres, like 10, 15 acres, hopefully wooded. I don't want to have to drive a tractor to cut the lawn, you know. Alright, let me see if I can park right over here. I'm here to get patches sewn onto my jacket, or jackets. I've been meaning to do this for almost a year now, and I'll show you what the patches are in a minute. Hey folks, so I just came out of one of my favorite places, Trikes, which is where I got my bike service recently. I had the 20,000 mile service done there, and Jerry is the guy's name, and he's really, really nice. His wife is named Diana. She's very friendly. She sews on patches too. So I just had a patch sewn on, and this is for my friend Stefan, my twin brother Stefan in Germany. This is the Polizei patch that he got for me when he came to visit me in May, and I finally got it put on. And since he gave me two, I had him put on my other jacket as well. So there you go. What do you think of that, huh? Styling? Sad thing though, I just found out that today is their last day here at this site. Apparently the economy has killed their business, and Jerry's going to be working next door here at the Ray Price Used Parts. And his wife is going to be, she still works as a nurse, but she's going to be sewing patches at home now. So I want more patches sewn on. I can go through her home business. What a bummer, huh? Change you can believe in. Hey folks, so I'm going to show you some of the patches here. So I've got the, you know, Harley patch, and my Polizei patch for my friend Stefan. Thank you, Stefan. Danke. And then there's the back. What do you think? I like them. I know if I ever ride in Europe, it's going to make me a huge target, I guess. But I like flags.